Hi, how are you today? Hope you are doing well. In today's video, we are going to talk about whether practicing past year papers will help you achieve better grades in your language paper. My name is Darren Chow and I'm the English tutor from EnglishTution.org. Now, some students have come and their feedback to me that their schools have given them lots of past year paper to practice, and in fact they themselves went out to the bookstores to buy assessment books just so that they can have more past year papers to practice. Okay, in our time we call this the 10-year series because it's actually the entire collection of exam papers from the previous 10 years, and that's a very good resource to have, and it's pretty cheap and very valuable resource. So what we did was we just take the 10-year series, okay, and then we just practice day in, day out, especially during the period that is right before the examinations, right? And some teachers apparently still believe very strongly in this approach, which is why they still give out past year papers to their students. And students don't just get to practice the so-called 10-year series, they also get past year papers from other schools to practice, right? So that's a lot of practice. Now, in my opinion, this approach works, and it works better for certain subjects. For example, maths and science subjects, or any knowledge-based subjects that require the student to be able to remember the content and to be able to remember the steps very well. So when you practice, this tends to help with the memory work. The more you practice, the more familiar you are with the formulas and the content and the steps, the more likely you will do well in the exams. And many students find this to be true, right? Especially for maths and science subjects. Okay, unfortunately, things work slightly differently because for language. Because for language, what I always tell my students is that language is, yes, is in part a knowledge-based subject because ultimately you still have your vocabulary, okay, you have to know the words and the phrases, okay, but it is also a skill-based subject. Now, there are 4 skills in language that we have to hone and practice. One is the reading skills, right? The other one is listening skills. So these 2 skills, basically we are trying to, absorb the information just from reading and listening, right? Using our eyes and using our ears. The other 2 skills that we are concerned with is the output, right? Once we have the ideas, our brain will be processing that information. Then after that, we have some ideas in our head and we want to be able to express them in a way that is grammatically correct. So we do that by orally, okay, verbally, we are able to express our ideas, okay. And the other skill, the last skill that we have is the writing skills, right? You should be able to write and express your ideas very well in your paper. So examiners are always looking out for, the quality or the skill level, right, during an exam, which is why there are so many different components that we have to deal with, right, in the actual O-level exams. So think about it. We have our listening compre, which tests our listening skills. We have our oral examination, which is, quite a heavy weightage, about 30% of the entire examination, where students will be required, right, to express their ideas, okay, during a conversation with the examiner. Then we have the paper 1, which assess our writing skills. So you have to be able to write situational writing, continuous writing. Okay, then of course we have the comprehension, right, which is a combination of our reading and our writing skills, right? You need to read, comprehend, understand the passage, and then answer a series of questions. Okay, you're also asked to summarize certain text passages, right? And they give us, or they give the students, different types of text and different types of passages, right? Because having just the skill to understand one type of text is not enough. That does not count as being proficient in the language from the perspective of the examiner. So on the student's part, right, if you just want to blindly do the past year papers and try to spot the questions, right, and try to predict what questions are going to come out, then I think you are in trouble, because language papers have been notoriously known to be unpredictable, right? It differs year from year. They will choose different words. they will ask you questions in a different manner, right? They will choose different stories, different types of narratives or non-narratives, and you can never predict, right? So what happens if they change the question? And you know that the question is something that you have never seen before. But if you have the skills and you are able to analyze the question, right, and you have the skills to apply the knowledge that you have, then I think you can cope better with the questions, right? Language papers are not study subjects, right? If you want to do well in the paper, my recommendation is to practice on a daily basis. Language is something that we use every day, right? We talk to our friends, we talk to our parents, we talk to the people around us. That's when we practice our oral skills. And sometimes when we type emails, right, for students, you know, students maybe they don't send emails that often, right? So students maybe when you do assessment books, when you write stories, when you write compositions, that is when you practice, alright? So it is all these little moments in your lives that help you hone the skills, okay? And if you are prepared for the exam, you have the skills, you don't have to study so hard or worry about the exam. Because if you have the skills, you will be able to cope and you will do well in the exams, right? So ask yourself, have you put in the effort to practice, right? Very often when I speak to students, I ask them, right, how much are you exposed? Have you exposed yourself to the language? Do you watch any English TV programs? Do you listen to the radio? Do you read books? Do you read magazines? Do you read newspapers? These are all the different avenues where a student can, get to learn more about the language. And I think these are very good tools that they can use on a daily basis, right? Not just come for tuition and put themselves in a formal setting, then only I can learn about language. That's not the case. So I encourage them, once after the lesson finish, go back, continue, to think about how to use the language, expose yourself to more tools, to more reading materials. I think these are the things that will help. So I hope that you find some of the information useful to you. Thank you very much for watching the video, and if you like the video, you know the drill. Thumbs up, dislike, hate it, thumbs down. You want to participate or see more videos like this one, subscribe to the channel or follow our Facebook page, links in the video description below. Thanks and have a nice day. Bye.